Essence of Orthodoxy is 3 of anything and 2 white for a 3/3 Phyrexian with flying. When the Essence or another Phyrexian enters the battlefield under your control, incubate 2. Whoa, the artwork on this card is chilling to say the least. It's very creepy, I love it. The card is interesting and I think has the best interaction with might tokens, as this trigger isn't limited to once per turn, so you can really go all out on having Phyrexians enter the battlefield. Load up on little incubating eggies, then pop them 1 by 1 and win the game with your endless tiny Phyrexians as it should be. What's extra cool is that the Essence synergizes with itself. It enters the battlefield, triggers incubate 2, then you can pop it, triggers it again, creating another incubator token. As long as you have the mana, the Essence of Orthodoxy has the Phyrexians. I love it. Guardian of Gyropur is 3 mana for a 3/3 angel with flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 other target creature or artifact you control, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. There are a couple things going on here. First, it's essentially a fixed Felidar Guardian, probably what that card should have been on Kaladesh, to be honest. Second, the creature type being angel isn't irrelevant. There are a number of angel decks across constructed formats that would happily take a blinking angel even without flash attached. Giada, Font of Hope, leads an army of many angels that have added to the battlefield value. Righteous Valkyrie is going to synergize with them all. Bishop of Wings will keep gaining you life, then Valkyrie Harbinger will make you angels. Inspiring Overseer has blink value. Karmic Guide has blink value. Sanctuary Warden, Angel of the Ruins. There are too many to name here, but you get my point. Guardian is legit. Invasion of Dominaria is 2 of anything and 1 white for a 5 counter siege battle. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life and draw a card. When it's defeated, it becomes Seraph Faithkeeper, a 4/4 angel with flying and vigilance. Look at that artwork. My goodness, Seraph Faithkeeper is just the perfect backface for an Invasion of Dominaria. So flavorful, 10 out of 10 flavor here. Love me some Seraph Angels, but this one in particular, it is so fierce. I cannot get over that art. It is stunning. Invasion of Segovia, the very tiny plane, is 2 of anything and 1 blue for a 4 counter siege battle. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 blue Kraken creature tokens with trample. When it's defeated, it becomes Cadus, Sea Tyrant of Segovia, the angle attacker. A 3/3 legendary creature serpent. Non-creature spells you cast have convoke. At the beginning of your end step, untap up to 4 target creatures. Love this for Kozla. What a genius design, huge fan, love that it synergizes with itself, creating creatures to convoke with, then untapping creatures after convoking, or to convoke at instant speed. It's perfect. Also, how dare the Phyrexians invade Segovia? Just leave them alone, they're so tiny and cute, how rude. Terror of Tawashi is 2 of anything and 2 black for a 4/3 Phyrexian ogre with death touch. When it attacks, you may pay 4. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. A jumpstart rare here. It does take a large mana investment to get this ogre going, but once it's on the battlefield and triggering, you're getting a ton of value, especially since it's repeatable. 8 mana is a lot to put towards making this work, but in a casual setting, it could prove to be one of the best creatures on the board. It's strong stuff. Into the Fire is 2 of anything and 1 red for a sorcery, choose 1. Into the Fire deals 2 damage to each creature, planeswalker, and battle, or put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, then draw that many cards +1. Wow, this is a great rare in red, especially since it's barely red, only 1 red mana symbol needed. Nuking the whole board for 2, battles included, will definitely be relevant and limited, but even beyond that, easily splash up a card, and the second option lets you will your hand and replaces Into the Fire itself with a +1 added at the end. And I think this is one of the better cards we've seen so far. It's really impressive, plus I'm always a fan of seeing Ren being a boss in artwork. Invasion of Tarkir is 2 mana for a 5 counter siege battle. When it enters the battlefield, reveal any number of dragon cards from your hand. When you do, the invasion deals X +2 damage to any other target, where X is the number of cards revealed this way. Okay, so straight up this is a removal spell. Even if you have no dragons, it's at least 2 damage to something or someone. With just the front face alone, Miram could want this, Tiamat even, the Dragon. Now it does turn into Defiant Thundermaw when it's defeated. A 4/4 dragon with flying and trample, and whenever a dragon you control attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target. So not only are you getting a solid removal spell or a giant burn spell to the face right off the bat, but it eventually gets transformed into a solid dragon that turns all your dragon attackers into shocks on sticks. It's mythic for a good reason, and I think it'll see significant play in dragon commander decks. Don't sleep on this one, it's strong. Man, I love Tarkir so much. Ravenous Sailback is 4 of anything and 1 green for a 3/4 dinosaur. When it enters the battlefield, choose 1. It gains haste until end of turn or destroy target artifact or enchantment. I like the option to be combat heavy or removal focused. 5 mana is a ton, and leaving behind a 3/4 body isn't super great, especially with the current level of power creep we're dealing with in Magic, but Naturalize is nice. This is one of those filler uncommons you'll use in draft. It definitely isn't bad, but you're never going to want to first pick it unless the format ends up being very slow or very artifact and enchantment heavy. Storm the Seed Core is 2 of anything and 2 green for a sorcery. Distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among up to 4 target creatures you control. Creatures you control gain vigilance and trample until end of turn. I don't care at all about the card itself. It is cool for limited as a go-wide game ender, I suppose, but what I care about really is that artwork. This is possibly one of the most beautiful pieces of art we've seen in Magic in years. Honestly, breathtaking. Jason Rainville just killed it with this. Not much more to say, it's flawless. Streetwise Negotiator is 2 mana for a 0/2 cat citizen with backup 1. This creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. I did not expect a Doran Arcady style card like this. Backup makes it really interesting. It's either effectively a 3/3 for 2 mana, or it gives something else a +1/+1 counter, preferably a crab or a turtle, because they're both great, and they get to swing in for some sweet damage this turn. It's a very strong uncommon. 2 mana 3/3 at worst. That is so good. I knew backup was going to be a little bit busted. Naval Hermit is 3 of anything and 1 green for a 4/4 troll. You can pay 5 of anything and 1 Phyrexian blue mana to transform the Hermit only as a sorcery. Chrome Host Hulk is a 5/5 Phyrexian troll. Whenever it attacks up to one other target creature has base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn. Very nice seeing this type of ability on non-legendary cards. It'll make limited interesting for sure. Now, this card starts as a 4 mana 4/4, so basically a limited filler card, but in the late game, transforming it could win you the game, bringing a massive power boost to another creature. Very happy this Phyrexian transform ability is being more widely used, especially among rarities. This add-on common's pretty nice. Invasion of Kaladesh is 1 blue and 1 red for a 4 counter siege battle. When the invasion enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. When it's defeated, it becomes Aetherwing Golden Scale Flagship, a 4 toughness legendary artifact vehicle with flying and a crew cost of 1. Its power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. A bit of a weird card, a 1/1 flyer for 2 without any additional abilities usually isn't that great, but flying does give the 1/1 evasion, which allows it to take down the battle more consistently. I'm not sure where something like this would see play. The back face isn't bad at all, don't get me wrong, but you'll want an artifact heavy deck that can afford to spend time putting this all together just to get Aetherwing out. Invasion of Moag is 2 of anything, 1 green and 1 white for a 5 counter siege battle. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Wow, alright. Of most of the invasions we've seen, this has one of the biggest direct impacts on the board state, especially in Commander. When it's defeated, it becomes Bloomwielder Dryads, a 3/3 Dryad with Ward 2 at the beginning of your end step. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. First thing you need to know, Moag is a mostly unknown plane that Urza traveled to a long time ago and only stayed for a short time. The Dryads of the plane stopped the Phyrexians' attack the first time way in the past. Very cool to see it here now. As for playability, that's a lot of counters for a siege battle. The back face is neat, and the Dryad triggering a +1/+1 counter on each of your turns without additional cost is cool, sure, but again, heavy price to pay. You need this in a counter-heavy commander strategy only pretty much. Unless the limited format sets up a go-wide green-white strategy, then this might end games, who knows. Zurgo Ojutai is 2 of anything, 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 white for a 4/4 legendary creature orc dragon with flying and haste, and it has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. Whenever 1 or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player or battle, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. You may return 1 of those dragons to its owner's hand. Yo, Zurgo and Ojutai, what a team up, and it's so strong, like it's pretty strong. Getting haste right off the bat and then hexproof for the first attack, that is savage. And then you have the ability to give this card dash if you want to. Amazing callback there, bringing it back to your hand to protect it and play it again with hexproof on the next turn, digging through your deck each time. With all that aside, it is so funny to me that Zurgo Bellstriker, basically the weakest of all weaklings on Tarkir, is in this team up with a mighty Ojutai. That is too funny. Team up cards are the best, they honestly are. Make sure to stay tuned right here for more spoiler goodness. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.